Hi, my friends. It's me again. Welcome back to the show that never ends. Step inside the expansive lands of my mind. Trace, timeless 15 minutes of explanations for the nation of love to come. Today, my talk is pulling back the curtain, exposing the neurotic wizard in charge. You. Generals gather in the masses, cause their witches have black masters. Evil minds plot destruction. But now the second coming of Christ reveals all of them. Spiritual aikido for the masses. Psychological self-control, discipline, and whip those demons with no violence. Force them to go back to Orion and get off our asses. Self discernment and peace and free will and self respect. Harmlessness, then no soul neglect. Pulling back the curtain, exposing the neurotic wizard in charge. You, not Trump, not Joe Biden. So in Santa Cruz, we have most of the best MK Ultra weapons and organic, and it's an organic. I mean, most of the greatest mind control weapons ever, if you include this university next to me here, pointed right at me. Or at least if I go down to the road. And also, shoot, right here on the college campus, we have two or three organic farms, a food co-op, and it's the organic farm bread basket and ganja hub. One of the top 4 or 5 ganja, at least ganja sales hubs in the planet of California, at least. And so, oxygen, pretty good oxygen here, even though I'm inundated with a lot of gnarly nanobots and microwave gadgetry. Big waves, the greatest waves in California, mountain bike trails. Some of the greatest mountain. Bontrager said world-class mountain bike trails right here next to me. You know, people happily enslave themselves, and if they're not specialized and work 2 or 3 jobs a week for these, because they love the mountain bike trails. They love to surf the big waves. They have the wonderful cannabis products and the organic food. And if individual mental enlightenment was all that mattered, I'd be there. What Christopher Robin said would be true. I'd be an enlightened master. If existence in this system, by taking care of the box, paying your rent for the shelter, or just paying for your food and gas was all that mattered, then all of you would be enlightened. You see, co-interdependence and oneness are the spiritual reality and foundation. So instead, we must, ideally, teach others awakening in order to heal and christen their inner wizard. Make the inner wizard inside of your subconscious mind at least 96% Christ again. Not, violent, not a black magician, not manipulative. Otherwise, it would be like you cured your own cancer um, organically and didn't tell anyone, yet expect the world to be rapidly cancer free. In other words, if I had if I heal myself of cancer, which I have somewhat If I've healed myself of 3 or 4 deadly diseases, some of which the mainstream allopathic says are incurable, and I don't tell anyone out of fear or moral or mental cowardice, laziness, or whatever reason. Well, this would be like I cured my cancer and didn't tell anyone, yet I expect the world to become rapidly cancer free. Think about that as an analogy for you out there who think you know something about the truth or awakening or the Christ or the devil, and yet don't speak out. That's a pretty good analogy. You're missing the crucial step, which is education. My name is Edward. Education is my first name. Okay, this is why it comes before music even. First, because I can't even play music well if I have the devil's thoughts and emotions and the Zetas draining me with their bullshit. So, hence, to tell the truth about all unwaveringly to heal the self. This is how I'm learning to really heal myself, to have the courage to tell the truth about all unwaveringly. Instead, and if you want to go on this path, that's how you have to be. Instead of judging me financially as a sore loser or trapped in a broken game, you got to understand that you have to see me as a non-player character from the perspective of Lucifer, the Matrix. Like I'm a non-player character to the devil. Like I don't exist to Satan on purpose because I'm not here to try to toe the line and pull myself up by my bootstraps. In my teens and early 20s, I really thought I was gonna have to work. I worked at Krispy Kreme donuts. I really thought I was gonna have to do that. And so for in some ways, getting blood disease and becoming dependent was healthy for me to take a step back and see like how sick the whole thing actually is. So perhaps I'm pretty sure that as an indigo type person, I'm here in 3D primarily to help you awaken from the rigged, broken, financially and morally broke 1% kleptocrat system, and remember the imperative necessity to teach and light the ways to freedom and gnosis. Checking out the G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creatures from Jekyll Island, man, the Fed, the whole thing was a fabrication of these, like, the dark sides being brilliant at deception, So really, I don't believe there is any debt to, national debt. It's a guilt mechanism like the Catholic priests use, you see, and the Protestants, so even them. So I'm here to help you wake up from the broken slave system, 1% kleptocrat system, and remember um, the gnosis to free the respectful, calm wizard in your mind and replace that control order sugar, which is actually, it takes slavery to make sugar, so it's connected directly, but it also feeds a parasite, your ego, to respectful suggestion like stevia or erythritol, like it's not going to poison you, the free choice. So I'm here to remind you, of the obvious, that you have the free choice. I've said it 100 times on this channel already. I'm here to remind you that you have, if in particular, if you didn't take the crazy robotics experiment, you have free will. You still have a chance to ascend if you believe you can, and you have the willingness to do the shadow work. And otherwise, you are simply this little neurotic. I mean, even if you're a master, even if you have a high IQ and you become a master of whatever field, occupation you're in, when somebody pulls that curtain, it'll be just like the scene in The Wizard of Oz. This is another idea stemming from that movie that spurred the idea for this video. So, because like Mark Passio, I also love that movie. So, I think I've actually seen it in the movie theater. So when somebody pulls back the curtain after, the Zeta, or after your subconscious makes you act like raving maniac, or it shows that you're a narcissistic predator. Is that what will happen? I mean, so what I'm saying, what I'm getting at is one of the major goals of the shadow work is to eradicate this neurotic, subconscious control freak, archontic or demiurgic, or it could be Anunnaki controlled, or Draco type controlled type personality trait. And if possible, replace that with one type of personality that you might imagine comes from the original Christos, or the Lyrans, or the Palladians, Arcturians, or the Andromedan races, the enlightened master races that don't come with these nasty attitudes or try to control others. Really, what I've noticed often in life is those that have this impulse and feel they have to obey this imperative, subconscious imperative, which I consider satanic, to control others, at least 96% of the time are out of control of themselves, right? So I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm trying to suggest ideas that help you. I'm here to suggest ideas to expand your awareness into freedom, to make you realize, if you're open to the learning from me, from a guy sitting in a fold-out chair in the forest, that you can reclaim your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, even from the dark side, from their exaggeration, from the manipulation, from the Motown lyrics, and replace that with self-respect and discernment at a point to where you actually reclaim the power to be the person who programs, who is the wizard of your own body, your avatar flesh suit, that you can become the master of your avatar flesh suit. That I could make my hair look exactly like Donald Trump if he had longer hair, if I wanted to, because this is a play. If you are healed enough to actualize that view. Now, you step on others, you manipulate others, and you're breaking the rules of the play. The play, think about it like this: the Almighty, the real original creator, designed this play with the so-called non-aggression principle. It's one of the rules. You're not allowed to hurt anyone else's body or possessions. And I would say that you must understand, if you hurt your own subconscious body or possessions, then you suffer. Um, on the other hand, I do think you should defend yourself, your bodily structure, from other people attacking it. If you don't, you know, trying to buy cannabis off people that were involved with meth. The first month I was in this town, almost 20 years ago, I got beat up twice. This one guy, extremely violent guy, took me to a dark spot and started trying to grab my wallet while he punched me with large muscles really fast, and actually shit in my pants. And I managed to keep a bloody $10 bill, and I'm so mentally addicted to cannabis so much. I went in this guy's RV. I remember he had a candle lit, and I told him the story, and he was smiling. Well, he weighed me a gram of weed, and nowadays you can buy an eighth of weed for less than that in the store, of higher quality. But he was smiling that I managed to keep a bloody 10. And the other time was because this guy had threw a gram of weed to me on Pacific Avenue, and I didn't look around before I grabbed it. And Officer Wendy actually rode up on a bicycle silently, $1,000 bicycle, grabbed my hand, put in a handcuff, and put us both in the cop car. And he got caught with shrooms. He said this isn't happening, so he got out of after we got out a few days ago. After he got out a few days later, he told me I still owed him the money, and I said, well, it's the dealer's responsibility to be safe. So he cornered me with his girlfriend and family, and punched me out. Now, ever since then, I thought, well, I have to defend myself. You have to learn to be the wizard of your body, your soul, and your domain, harmlessly and respectfully as much as possible. and that's part of the awakening. If you enjoyed this, click subscribe and create a great one, my family.